Welcome, esteemed viewers, to a discourse that promises to fundamentally alter your perception of interpersonal dynamics and indeed the trajectory of your very existence. Today we embark upon a journey into the intricate landscape of human interaction, dissecting the subtle yet profound influence of those who, perhaps unwittingly, impede our ascent. We are here to discuss, in depth, the 10 archetypes of individuals who, like unseen anchors, tether us to mediocrity and stagnation. Before we delve into the intricacies of these personal impediments, I implore you to take a moment. Pause, reflect, and if you find value in the insights shared, please consider extending your support through a simple act. Like this video, subscribe to this channel for future explorations of wisdom, leave a comment to engage in thoughtful dialogue, and share this knowledge with those who might benefit from its illumination. Now, picture this. You are poised for transcendence, akin to a vessel ascending into the vast expanse of the heavens, a hot air balloon poised to soar to unprecedented heights. You harbor within you grand aspirations, ambitious objectives, and an unwavering resolve to manifest them into tangible realities. Yet as you commence your ascent, a disconcerting anomaly presents itself. The balloon's progress is inexplicably hindered. You cast your gaze downwards only to discover a multitude of individuals clinging to the basket, their collective weight impeding your upward trajectory. This, my friends, is a poignant metaphor for the insidious influence of detrimental associations. These individuals, much like the aforementioned weights, serve as silent saboteurs, obstructing your path to self-actualization. The most insidious aspect of this phenomenon lies in its imperceptibility. Often, we remain oblivious to the deleterious impact of these individuals. They may be long-standing confidants, familial members, or professional colleagues, their influence manifesting as a gradual erosion of our vitality, positivity, and drive. Their presence is akin to a subtle breach in the hull of a vessel, a slow and steady leak that imperceptibly drains our vital energies. So, who are these individuals, these silent impediments? That, precisely, is the focus of our inquiry. We shall meticulously examine 10 distinct archetypes of individuals who, often unwittingly, undermine our pursuit of excellence. We will explore the purveyors of negativity, the insatiable energy vampires, the master manipulators, the chronic complainers, the blame shifters, the envious souls, the egocentric narcissists, the gossip mongers, the growth inhibitors, and the fair weather opportunists. I anticipate your internal monologue, the subtle protestation that such individuals do not populate your sphere of influence. However, I urge you to remain vigilant, for these archetypes are masters of disguise, their true nature often obscured by a veneer of familiarity. Identifying these individuals is the crucial first step toward liberating oneself from their pernicious influence. Yet this endeavor is not merely an exercise in identifying adversaries, it is a quest for self-preservation and growth. For each archetype, we shall delve into the underlying mechanisms of their detrimental influence, share illustrative anecdotes drawn from the tapestry of lived experience, and, most importantly, provide pragmatic strategies for navigating these challenging interactions. Whether it be the establishment of firm boundaries, the recalibration of our responses, or in extreme cases, the severance of ties, we shall equip you with the tools necessary to safeguard your well-being. Remember, as the Stoics remind us, you are the average of the 5 individuals with whom you spend the most time. Therefore, it is imperative that these individuals elevate, rather than impede, your ascent. By the conclusion of this discourse, you shall possess the discernment and fortitude to ensure that your inner circle comprises individuals who uplift and inspire, rather than tether and diminish. Are you prepared to release the ballast and allow your balloon to ascend? Let us embark upon this exploration. Chapter 1. The Purveyors of Negativity. Let us commence our exploration with the purveyors of negativity, those individuals who possess an uncanny ability to discern a storm cloud amidst the most radiant of skies. These individuals, masters of pessimism, excel at identifying potential pitfalls and forecasting impending doom. While a modicum of realism is, indeed, a valuable asset, these individuals elevate pessimism to an art form. Their influence, like a contagion, permeates our psyche, transforming our perception of the world into a monochromatic landscape of despair. Spend sufficient time in their company, and you shall find your own outlook gradually mirroring their bleak perspective. They possess the capacity to erode your motivation, extinguish your enthusiasm, and instill doubt in your most cherished aspirations. Consider the tale of Sarah and her colleague Dave. Sarah, having recently secured a significant project, was brimming with enthusiasm. Enter Dave, the office harbinger of doom. "Good luck with that," he scoffed. "Remember the Johnson account? Total disaster. This one's probably going to be even worse." Sarah's enthusiasm, once vibrant, began to wane. She found herself dwelling on potential setbacks, her confidence eroded by Dave's negativity. How then do we identify these purveyors of negativity? Listen for their telltale phrases. "That'll never work. We've always done it this way. Why bother?" They are the perpetual pessimists, always anticipating the worst. Dealing with these individuals requires a strategic approach. First, establish clear boundaries, limiting your exposure to their negativity. Second, challenge their pessimistic assertions, prompting them to provide rational justifications. Often, their pessimism lacks a foundation in logic. Third, redirect the conversation toward solutions, shifting the focus from problems to possibilities. Fourth, cultivate a network of positive influences to counteract the effects of their negativity. Remember, you are not obligated to be a captive audience to another's pessimism. Choose positivity and witness the transformative power it wields. Chapter 2. The Insatiable Energy Vampires. Next, we confront the insatiable energy vampires, those individuals who leave us feeling depleted and drained after even the briefest of interactions. These individuals possess an uncanny ability to siphon our vitality, leaving us emotionally exhausted. They are often characterized by excessive drama, perpetual crises, and an insatiable need for attention and emotional sustenance. They demand our time, attention, and emotional resources, yet rarely reciprocate. Our energy, a finite resource, is squandered in their presence. Every moment spent attending to their needs is a moment diverted from our own goals, dreams, and self-care. This insidious drain can lead to burnout, resentment, and stagnation. Consider the anecdote of Mike and his friend, Lisa. Mike, preparing for a crucial presentation, was interrupted by Lisa's incessant calls, each detailing a new crisis. 2 hours later, Mike was emotionally drained and behind schedule, while Lisa, having unburdened herself, felt momentarily relieved. How do we recognize these energy vampires? They are perpetually embroiled in crises. Their presence leaves us feeling exhausted. They rarely inquire about our lives, and they possess a "woe is me" attitude, resisting solutions. Dealing with these individuals requires firm boundaries. First, establish clear time limits for interactions. Second, learn to assertively decline their demands. Third, encourage them to seek professional assistance if their crises are chronic. Fourth, prioritize self-care to replenish your depleted energies. Remember, safeguarding your energy is not selfish. It is essential for your well-being. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. Chapter 3. The Labyrinth of Manipulation. Within the intricate tapestry of human interaction, a particularly insidious group lurks: the manipulators. These individuals, akin to chess masters of the social realm, possess an uncanny ability to anticipate and orchestrate events, often with malevolent intent. They are adept at wielding emotions, particularly guilt and fear, as instruments of control, bending others to their will. Their mastery of gaslighting, a form of psychological manipulation, allows them to distort reality, causing their victims to question their own perceptions. They employ a repertoire of tactics, alternating between flattery and criticism, keeping their targets perpetually off balance and vulnerable. The insidious nature of their influence lies in its gradual erosion of self-esteem, trust, and even one's sense of reality. They can induce feelings of disorientation and paranoia, ultimately inflicting severe damage upon mental health and interpersonal relationships. Consider the cautionary tale of Tom and his manipulative sister Rachel. Tom, having diligently saved for his dream vacation, was approached by Rachel, who, with feigned distress, pleaded for financial assistance. "Tom, I hate to ask, but I'm in real trouble," she implored. "I need $5,000 or I'll lose my apartment. You're the only one I can turn to." Overwhelmed by guilt and pressure, Tom relinquished his savings. A week later, he discovered Rachel's social media posts detailing her extravagant shopping spree. How then do we discern these manipulators? Be vigilant for these telltale signs. They employ guilt trips, distort narratives, play the victim, and use excessive flattery followed by demands. Navigating interactions with manipulators demands a resolute approach. First, trust your intuition. If a situation feels amiss, it likely is. Second, establish and maintain firm boundaries, refusing to waver. Third, refrain from justifying, arguing, defending, or explaining. Simply assert your position. Fourth, seek counsel from trusted individuals to validate your experiences. Remember, you possess the inherent right to make decisions without succumbing to guilt or coercion. Do not allow anyone to manipulate you into believing otherwise. Chapter 4. The Stoic Response to Chronic Complainers. Let us now turn our Stoic gaze towards the chronic complainers, those individuals who seem to find fault in every aspect of existence. They grumble about the weather, lament the inadequacies of their circumstances, and perceive problems where others see opportunities. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once articulated a profound truth. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This wisdom holds particular relevance when confronting chronic complainers. Consider the case of Maria, a diligent professional, and her colleague John, a perpetual purveyor of grievances. Each morning, John would commence his day with a litany of complaints, lamenting the traffic, the coffee machine, and their supervisor. Initially, Maria found herself drawn into John's vortex of negativity, her mood mirroring his discontent. However, upon discovering Stoicism, Maria recognized that while she could not control John's behavior, she possessed absolute control over her response. As Marcus Aurelius advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Maria began to perceive John's complaints not as objective truths, but as subjective interpretations of reality, interpretations she was not obligated to share. She began responding to his complaints with inquiries such as, "What do you think we could do to improve the situation?" Or, "Is there a positive aspect to this that we might be overlooking?" This Stoic approach served a dual purpose. It safeguarded Maria's peace of mind and gently prompted John to reconsider his perspective. Remember, the Stoics teach us that true freedom arises from focusing on that which we can control. As Epictetus stated, there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. When confronted with a chronic complainer, consider these Stoic strategies. First, practice negative visualization, contemplating how much worse circumstances could be, thereby cultivating gratitude for the present. Second, focus on your response, recognizing that while you cannot control the complainer's words, you can control your interpretation and reaction. Third, seek the lesson, asking yourself what insights can be gleaned from the situation, viewing each challenge as an opportunity for growth. Fourth, embrace amor fati, the love of fate, accepting that complainers exist and viewing interactions with them as opportunities to practice virtue. As Seneca wisely noted, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Do not allow the imagined problems of others to become your own. Chapter 5. The Persistent Refusal. A Stoic examination of those who evade responsibility. Let us now, with the discerning eye of Stoic philosophy, turn our attention to those individuals who seem perpetually incapable of acknowledging their part in any given situation. These are the masters of deflection, the architects of alibis, the purveyors of "it's not my fault" rhetoric. They are the ones who, faced with the consequences of their actions, invariably point the finger elsewhere, weaving intricate tales of external forces and the shortcomings of others. Epictetus, in his profound wisdom, offers a critical insight. When we expend our energy in assigning blame, we squander our potential for growth and self-mastery. Conversely, when we embrace responsibility, we unlock the power to shape our own destinies. This principle encapsulates the very essence of the Stoic approach to personal accountability, a cornerstone of virtuous living. Consider the detailed narrative of Julian, a seasoned project manager in a dynamic software development company. One of his team members, Marcus, consistently delivered subpar work, missing critical deadlines and introducing numerous bugs into the software. However, Marcus always had a ready excuse. The project requirements were ambiguous, he lacked sufficient resources, or a colleague had provided him with faulty code. Initially, Julian felt a surge of frustration and resentment towards Marcus, believing him to be deliberately negligent. Yet, as he immersed himself in the teachings of Stoic philosophy, he grasped two fundamental truths. Firstly, he could not exert control over Marcus's behavior or his reluctance to accept responsibility. Secondly, he possessed complete dominion over his own actions and reactions to the situation. As Marcus Aurelius eloquently stated, "You always own the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you can't control. These things are not asking to be judged by you. Leave them alone." Julian resolved to concentrate on what he could influence. He implemented more transparent and structured processes for task assignment and progress tracking. He provided meticulously detailed project specifications, and he established regular checkpoint meetings to ensure clarity and alignment. Most importantly, he diligently worked on managing his expectations and emotions. When Marcus continued to offer excuses, Julian calmly and objectively outlined the available resources and support, then asked, "What specific steps could you take differently next time to achieve a more favorable outcome?" This Stoic approach shifted the focus from accusatory blame to collaborative problem-solving, fostering a culture of accountability and continuous improvement. Remember, the Stoics emphasize that true strength and virtue arise from taking full responsibility for our actions and reactions, recognizing that external circumstances do not dictate our inner peace. As Epictetus astutely observed, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. When dealing with individuals who persistently evade responsibility, consider these Stoic strategies. First, meticulously examine your own actions to ensure you are providing all necessary support and resources for their success. Second, cultivate empathy, endeavoring to understand the underlying reasons for their avoidance of responsibility, such as fear of failure or deep-seated insecurity. Third, lead by example, consistently demonstrating what true accountability looks like in your own conduct. Fourth, maintain emotional equilibrium, refusing to allow their behavior to disrupt your inner tranquility. As Seneca wisely advised, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. When confronted with someone who shirks responsibility, pause before reacting, reflecting on the situation, and choosing your response with deliberate wisdom. Chapter 6. The Green-Eyed Monster, a Stoic perspective on navigating jealousy. Now let us turn our attention to the challenging dynamic of dealing with jealous individuals, those who covet what others possess and often seek to diminish the achievements of those around them. Epictetus provides a profound insight into this human tendency. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. This Stoic principle, emphasizing the importance of focusing on gratitude and contentment with our present circumstances, is fundamental to addressing jealousy in both ourselves and others. Consider the intricate story of Clara, a successful artist who faced persistent jealousy from her former colleague, Diana. Whenever Clara shared news of a professional accomplishment, such as a gallery exhibition or a prestigious commission, Diana would respond with thinly veiled envy, often attempting to downplay Clara's success or abruptly change the topic. Initially, Clara felt a deep sense of hurt and betrayal, struggling to understand why her friend could not genuinely celebrate her achievements. However, as she delved into the teachings of Stoic philosophy, she gained a transformative perspective. Marcus Aurelius counseled, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil." Clara realized that Diana's jealousy stemmed primarily from her own insecurities and perceived shortcomings, rather than from any inherent flaw in Clara's character. She understood that she could not control Diana's feelings, but she could control her own reactions. Instead of feeling offended or defensive, Clara resolved to approach these interactions with compassion and understanding. She made a conscious effort to inquire about Diana's life and genuinely celebrate her friend's accomplishments, no matter how small. She gently redirected conversations towards positive and mutually enjoyable topics. When faced with a jealous comment, Clara employed the Stoic principles of detachment and equanimity. The Stoic approach to dealing with jealous individuals involves several key principles. First, cultivate a consistent practice of gratitude, regularly acknowledging and appreciating the blessings in your own life. Second, recognize the impermanence of external factors, such as success, wealth, and status. The Stoics remind us that these are transient and ultimately beyond our control, urging us to focus instead on the cultivation of internal virtues. Third, cultivate compassion, understanding that jealousy often arises from deep-seated insecurities and fears. Fourth, focus on your own character and integrity, refusing to allow the jealousy of others to deter you from your chosen path. As Epictetus wisely stated, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Remember, as Seneca astutely observed, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. By embracing this Stoic mindset, we can navigate relationships with jealous individuals while maintaining our inner peace and continuing to pursue our own goals with unwavering resolve. Chapter 7. Gossipers, the Whispering Plague. Imagine, if you will, the sprawling, sun-drenched forum of ancient Rome, a vibrant tapestry of human interaction. The air crackles with the din of commerce, the fervent debates of politicians, and the hushed exchanges of clandestine meetings. Amidst this cacophony, a subtle yet insidious current flows. Whispers, rumors like wildfire, spread through the crowded thoroughfares, their tendrils reaching into every corner of Roman society. Reputations, once solid and esteemed, could be shattered with a few carefully chosen words, a malicious glance, or a subtly crafted narrative. This scene, though set in the distant past, resonates with an unsettling familiarity. Our modern world, with its digital forums and instant communication, is a breeding ground for gossip, a relentless echo of the ancient forum. Social media platforms designed to connect often become conduits for the rapid dissemination of rumors and half-truths, amplifying the destructive power of gossip to an unprecedented degree. Gossipers, those individuals who revel in the dissemination of rumors and the discussion of others' private lives, may appear harmless, even entertaining in their casual exchanges. However, their actions are as corrosive to the integrity of a community and the peace of mind of individuals as rust is to the most finely crafted metal. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, a man of profound wisdom and unwavering resolve, offered a timeless perspective on this pervasive issue. If you learn that someone is speaking ill of you, don't try to defend yourself against the rumors. Respond instead with, "Yes, and he doesn't know the half of it, because he could have said more." This succinct yet powerful statement encapsulates the Stoic approach to dealing with gossip. Maintain your inner peace, remain steadfast in your character, and refuse to be swayed by the opinions of others. Understanding that external opinions are beyond your control and that they cannot fundamentally alter your intrinsic value is a critical step in cultivating Stoic resilience. Let us consider the story of Marcus, a young Roman soldier stationed in a remote outpost. His fellow soldiers, seeking a diversion from the monotony of their duties, frequently gathered to engage in gossip, dissecting the lives and actions of their superiors and comrades with a mixture of envy and amusement. Initially, Marcus, eager to forge bonds with his peers, participated in these exchanges, believing that it would foster camaraderie. However, he soon realized that his involvement was subtly altering his character, instilling in him a sense of suspicion and antagonism. He found himself questioning the motives of his fellow soldiers, scrutinizing their actions with a critical eye, and harboring resentment towards those he perceived as deserving of criticism. Inspired by the teachings of Stoicism, which emphasized the importance of virtue, reason, and self-control, Marcus resolved to change his approach. When his comrades began to engage in gossip, he would gently steer the conversation towards more constructive topics, such as military strategy, philosophical discussions, or personal development. If his attempts to redirect the conversation proved unsuccessful, he would politely excuse himself, choosing to spend his time in more productive pursuits. Initially, some of his fellow soldiers mocked him, labeling him as aloof or self-righteous. However, over time, they began to respect his integrity and his unwavering commitment to his principles. They recognized that Marcus was a man of character who refused to engage in the petty and destructive practice of gossip. To identify gossipers, one must be attuned to certain telltale signs. They often initiate conversations with phrases like, "Did you hear about?" or "You won't believe what I just found out." They seem to possess an encyclopedic knowledge of everyone's personal affairs, often sharing intimate details that were never meant to be public. They frequently preface their revelations with a solemn oath of secrecy, urging you to keep their information confidential while simultaneously revealing that they have shared it with others. They derive a perverse sense of pleasure from spreading dramatic or scandalous news, relishing the reactions of their listeners. How then can we deal with gossipers in a stoic manner? Firstly, we must remember that the words and opinions of others are ultimately beyond our control. Our focus should remain on our own actions and character, striving to live in accordance with virtue and reason. Secondly, we must refuse to participate in gossip ourselves. As Socrates advised, we should apply the triple filter to any information we receive. Is it true? Is it good? Is it useful? If the information fails to meet these criteria, it should be disregarded. Thirdly, we must recognize that those who gossip about others will likely gossip about us. This awareness should inform our choices regarding who we confide in and who we trust. Fourthly, we can use gossip as an opportunity for self-reflection. If someone's words upset us, we should ask ourselves why. What insecurities or vulnerabilities have been triggered? By addressing these underlying issues, we can strengthen our character and cultivate greater resilience. Chapter 8. People who don't support your growth, the shadow of doubt. Picture yourself as a young olive tree, striving to reach towards the life-giving sun in the fertile soil of ancient Greece. Each day you extend your branches, growing stronger and more resilient, eager to fulfill your potential. Now imagine that someone, driven by their own insecurities or fears, repeatedly attempts to bend your branches, to restrict your access to water and sunlight. This is the experience of those who find themselves surrounded by people who do not support their growth. These individuals, whether they are friends, family members, or colleagues, may consciously or unconsciously attempt to keep you confined to their level, to prevent you from surpassing them. They may discourage your ambitions, belittle your achievements, or attempt to instill doubt in your abilities, subtly undermining your confidence and resolve. The Stoic philosopher Seneca, a man of profound insight and unwavering commitment to virtue, offered a simple yet profound piece of advice: associate with people who are likely to improve you. This seemingly straightforward statement carries profound implications. The people we surround ourselves with, the individuals we choose to spend our time with, exert a powerful influence on our thoughts, our ambitions, and ultimately, our lives. They shape our perspectives, inspire our actions, and define the boundaries of our potential. Choosing our companions wisely is therefore a critical step in cultivating a life of purpose and fulfillment. Consider the story of Clea, a young woman in Athens who harbored a burning desire to become a philosopher, a rare and unconventional ambition for a woman in her time. Many of her friends and family members, bound by societal expectations and traditional beliefs, discouraged her aspirations, urging her to focus on more suitable pursuits for a woman, such as marriage and domesticity. However, Clea, inspired by the teachings of Stoicism, which emphasized the importance of reason, virtue, and self-mastery, refused to be deterred. She sought out mentors who recognized her intellectual potential and believed in her capacity for greatness. She surrounded herself with fellow learners, individuals who shared her passion for knowledge and her commitment to self-improvement. Through perseverance and unwavering dedication, Clea overcame the societal limitations imposed upon her and became a respected thinker, proving that we can transcend the expectations of others and achieve our dreams with the right support and mindset. How, then, can we recognize those individuals who do not support our growth? They often downplay our achievements and ambitions, dismissing our aspirations as unrealistic or impractical. They frequently employ phrases such as, "That's not realistic," or "Why bother?" They appear uncomfortable or dismissive when we share our goals, subtly conveying their lack of faith in our abilities. They may attempt to hold us back under the guise of protecting us from disappointment or failure, subtly undermining our confidence and resolve. How then can we deal with these individuals in a Stoic manner? Firstly, we must practice indifference to criticism. As Epictetus advised, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. We must not allow the opinions of others to dictate our actions or define our self-worth. Secondly, we must focus on our own progress, rather than comparing ourselves to others. As Marcus Aurelius advised, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. We must strive to improve ourselves each day, regardless of the opinions or actions of those around us. Thirdly, we must seek out positive influences, surrounding ourselves with individuals who challenge and inspire us, who encourage us to reach our full potential. Fourthly, we can use their doubt as fuel, allowing their lack of faith to motivate us to prove them wrong. As Seneca reminded us, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Resistance from unsupportive people can make us stronger and more resilient, provided we approach it with the right mindset. It is also worth considering why these individuals may not support our growth. Often it stems from their own fears or insecurities, their own limitations that they project onto us. Understanding this can help us respond with compassion rather than anger, recognizing that their actions are often a reflection of their own struggles. Ultimately, our growth is our responsibility. As Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. We must not allow the limitations of others to define our potential. We must use Stoic principles to stay focused on our path, regardless of the opinions or actions of those around us. And remember, those who only come around when they need something are not true supporters of your growth. They are users. Chapter 9. Users, people who only come around when they need something, extended and deepened. Imagine yourself a respected senator in ancient Rome, a man of considerable influence and resources. Your home, a bustling hub of commerce and intellectual discourse, attracts a wide array of individuals. Among them, you begin to discern a pattern. Certain acquaintances, once distant and aloof, suddenly materialize, their demeanor radiating an unusual warmth and eagerness. They praise your wisdom, admire your generosity, and recount tales of their own misfortunes, invariably culminating in a request for assistance. A loan, a favor, an introduction. Their needs are varied, but their intent is singular. Once their demands are met, they vanish as swiftly as they appeared, only to resurface when their next crisis strikes. These are the users of the ancient world, their behavior echoing through the ages, a timeless manifestation of transactional relationships. They perceive connections not as reciprocal bonds of mutual support and respect, but as mere conduits for their own self-serving agendas. They are the emotional vampires of society, draining your resources, be they monetary, temporal, or emotional, without a hint of reciprocation. Their presence leaves you feeling depleted and exploited, a stark contrast to the genuine camaraderie you seek. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, with his profound understanding of human nature, provides a crucial framework for navigating these treacherous interactions. He urges us, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." This is not a call to passive acceptance of exploitation, but rather a recognition of the inherent reality of such individuals. It compels us to focus our energy on our own responses, on cultivating inner tranquility rather than futilely attempting to reshape the character of others. Consider the tale of Quintus, a renowned Roman jurist, known for his unwavering integrity and benevolence. He had a long-standing association with a man named Valerius, whose visits were invariably punctuated by requests for legal counsel, financial aid, or political influence. Quintus, initially inclined to assist, began to notice the pattern. Valerius's gratitude was fleeting, his promises of repayment hollow, and his presence conspicuously absent during Quintus's own times of need. Instead of succumbing to resentment or anger, Quintus chose to apply the Stoic principles he had diligently studied. He calmly and rationally explained to Valerius that true friendship and mutual respect are foundational to any lasting relationship. He offered to assist Valerius in developing his own legal acumen, empowering him to resolve his own issues rather than fostering a dependency. This approach not only preserved Quintus's peace of mind, but also provided Valerius with a valuable lesson in self-reliance, transforming a potentially exploitative relationship into an opportunity for personal growth. How then can we identify these users in our own lives? They contact you exclusively when they require something, their requests often framed as urgent necessities that only you can address. Their narratives are rife with tales of woe, designed to evoke your sympathy and compel your assistance. They rarely, if ever, inquire about your well-being or offer support in return. They may employ flattery or guilt as manipulative tools, attempting to bypass your rational defenses and exploit your emotional vulnerabilities. Dealing with users in a Stoic manner necessitates a multifaceted approach. First, establish clear and unwavering boundaries. As Seneca wisely observed, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By articulating and enforcing your limits, you preempt the anxieties and resentments that arise from anticipating unreasonable demands. Second, cultivate emotional detachment. As Marcus Aurelius affirmed, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Recognize that you cannot control the behavior of others, only your own reactions. Third, view each encounter with a user as an opportunity for personal growth. Practice assertiveness, compassion, and self-respect, honing your ability to navigate challenging interactions with grace and equanimity. Fourth, engage in rigorous self-reflection. As Marcus Aurelius cautioned, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil. Ensure that you are not unwittingly engaging in similar behaviors, fostering a culture of reciprocity and mutual respect in your own interactions. Remember, one-sided relationships deplete the very energy. You could be investing in genuine, mutually supportive connections. As Seneca astutely noted, time is our most valuable possession, so exercise prudence in its allocation. By consistently applying these Stoic principles, we can navigate relationships with users while preserving our peace of mind and integrity. We learn to extend generosity wisely, to establish boundaries with compassion, and to value our own time and well-being. This creates space for authentic, balanced relationships that foster our growth and happiness, rather than draining our vital resources. Chapter 10. Narcissists deepened and expanded. Imagine you've ascended to a prestigious position within the Roman Senate, your intellect and dedication earning you the respect of your peers. However, your new role brings you into close proximity with a senator. Let's call him Tiberius, whose presence dominates every gathering. Tiberius exudes an air of superiority, his pronouncements echoing with an unwavering conviction in his own infallibility. He craves constant admiration, dismissing dissenting opinions with disdain and seizing credit for the accomplishments of others. His behavior creates an atmosphere of unease, eroding the collaborative spirit essential to effective governance. This is the essence of a narcissist, an individual who perceives themselves as the center of the universe, demanding constant validation and exhibiting a profound lack of empathy. They believe that all should revolve around them, their needs and desires taking precedence over all others. Consider the story of Julia, a talented architect commissioned to design a grand public forum. Her patron, a wealthy aristocrat named Lucius, was a textbook narcissist. He would consistently undermine Julia's creative vision, imposing his own ill-conceived ideas and claiming them as his own. He would take credit for the project's successes while shifting blame for any setbacks onto Julia and her team. Julia's confidence began to waver, her passion for her work diminished by Lucius's relentless ego. Yet, the wisdom of the Stoics provided her with a lifeline. As Epictetus taught, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Julia recognized that she could not alter Lucius's character, but she could transform her response to his behavior. How then can we identify these self-appointed demigods? They thrive on being the center of attention, their narratives dominated by tales of their own accomplishments and brilliance. They possess a grandiose sense of self-importance, believing themselves to be superior to others. They exhibit a profound lack of empathy, unable to comprehend or acknowledge the feelings of those around them. They harbor a sense of entitlement, expecting preferential treatment and demanding constant validation. They react with rage and indignation when their authority is questioned or their flaws are exposed. Dealing with narcissists requires a strategic application of Stoic principles. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." First, practice emotional detachment. Recognize that their actions reflect their own insecurities, not your worth. Second, establish firm boundaries. Clearly articulate what you will and will not tolerate, and consistently enforce those limits. Third, refrain from feeding their ego. Narcissists thrive on attention and validation. Deny them this sustenance. Fourth, focus on your own growth. As Seneca advised, "While we wait for life, life passes." Invest your energy in self-improvement rather than attempting to change the unchangeable. Fifth, remember your inherent worth. Do not allow their behavior to diminish your self-esteem. Julia applied these principles, shifting her focus from seeking Lucius's approval to cultivating her own skills and knowledge. She established clear boundaries, refusing to tolerate his disrespectful behavior. Over time, Lucius's influence over her diminished, and she found herself thriving despite his presence. Narcissists are like storms, loud, destructive, and attention-seeking, but you can be the mountain, unmoved, unshaken, standing tall regardless of the weather. Remember, as Epictetus taught, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." Do not allow a narcissist's insatiable demands for attention to distract you from your own path. Your peace of mind is too precious to be held hostage by someone else's ego. Ultimately, dealing with narcissists is about reclaiming your power. It is about understanding that true strength emanates from within. As the Stoics did, stand firm, hold your ground, and let your inner mountain rise above their stormy sea of self-absorption. Chapter 11. Modern Context. Digital Age Considerations, Deepened and Expanded. In the modern digital age, the Stoics' path is fraught with new challenges, a constant barrage of notifications, the allure of social media, and the incessant whispers of the online world. the imperative to maintain integrity and inner peace has taken on new dimensions, demanding a nuanced application of ancient wisdom. Imagine our friend Tiberius, the narcissist from the previous chapter, now navigating the labyrinthine corridors of social media. He opens his digital device to find a relentless stream of notifications, likes, comments, shares and messages, each vying for his attention. The modern equivalent of the Roman Forum is now accessible at his fingertips, with whispers and shouts from across the globe reaching him instantaneously. Seneca, a visionary Stoic thinker, seemed to anticipate our contemporary predicament.